Hey, this is Andrew Versa with Impact Soundworks, and today I'm going to be demonstrating Super Audio Boy Retro Handheld Samples. This is a new free instrument for Kontakt, completely free, and it basically takes the Game Boy part of the original Super Audio Cart library, all of the samples that come with the Game Boy, and the complete engine of Super Audio Cart, and just makes it free. So if you've checked out some of my videos on Super Audio Cart using all the advanced features, the effects rack, the mod matrix, I'm not going to go into everything in super depth here because all of the features from Super Audio Cart are here too. The only difference is that this is just Game Boy. So let's check it out. So we've got a pulse wave loaded, 50% pulse. In the browser here, or using the arrows, we can switch our sound source to various different pulse widths. And then we've got a couple saw waves. We've got some triangles, including the triangle from the NES. As well as some additive waveforms here with a little bit more rich harmonics. Then we've got a range of pitch noise samples in here. We're going to start at the bottom with long noise. And then we're going to get it into the short noise soon. Plus we've got some sampled drum kits here. Now of course you can create sounds using the pitched oscillators, the triangle in particular, and the pulse waves, but we also have drum samples that were taken through the Game Boy's PCM sampling capabilities. All deliciously lo-fi and bit crushed, just the way we like it. So to be clear, if you're not familiar with Super Audio Cart, everything you just heard was sampled from an actual Game Boy. These are not emulations. This was not created with some sort of software synthesizer. These are the actual waveforms with all the grit from the circuitry of the Game Boy recorded and very carefully edited and looped. And of course, the wonderful thing about Super Audio Cart, and in turn, this free instrument, is that you can take those very simple waveforms and you can put them into the engine and do all sorts of cool stuff. If we take a look at layer A, and let's go back to a pulse wave, we've got all sorts of sound design tools built in. I'm going to go to the Arpeggiator tab, turn on the ARP, and let's check out a few of the presets. We've got gated sounds here, so this is not arpeggiation, but rather just moving the volume of the note over time. And we've also got sequence sounds, which compared to the arpeggiator, which takes the notes that you're playing and arpeggiates them, the sequencer actually creates a new note sequence for each note that you press. If we look at the pitch table, we can see what that sequence is. We can also make some notes hold, we can change the sync, etc. And all these features I've got covered in other videos, but again, this is just a quick one to show you how it works with Super Audio Boy. All right, let's check out another one, lead accent. And this is an accent because when the loop ends, it holds the note. So rather than playing a continuous loop, it's just going to give us that one note at the end. This works particularly well if we go to mono mode instead of poly, and that way we can play Or let's check out the other one, lead accent B. So if you want to go super old school, we've got some very fast ones here. Minor chords as well. And then octaves. Lots of really cool inspiration here just by using the presets. Of course, you can edit the sounds however you want as well. You can turn tables on and off. You can change the note length. So if we, let's say, slow this down to dotted 16ths. It's very, very easy to edit these sequences. Then turning off the arpeggiator and then going to the sound tab, we can check out some of the other features here. We've got a number of different vibrato waveforms, and by default, this is mapped to CC1, but that can be changed. We could do a triangle wave, increase the depth. And the speed, we can get pretty crazy with this actually. So it's very high maximum values. Or do a square vibrato, which is pretty cool. Now, the original Game Boy did have volume envelopes, but didn't have necessarily this level of filter control. We've got a whole bunch of different filter models here, so we could do a low-pass filter and create a plucked sound. The big difference between Super Audio Boy and other free Game Boy emulations out there is that you have all these additional sound design features. It's not just Game Boy sounds, but it lets you create all these modern sounds as well. And to kind of show that, we included a whole bunch of presets with the instrument in the form of snapshots. And besides control from the mod wheel, we also have an XY pad here, which can be assigned to layer blend. So if we hold a note, we can blend between layers that way. And then the X and Y axes can actually be assigned in our modulation matrix. And this is just incredibly powerful stuff. I did a whole video on it, but you can create LFOs, envelopes, you can do random parameters, you can modulate via CC or ranges, like key ranges, velocity ranges. It's just awesome. And you can hear some of these presets also have effects on them, so let me just go to another one. So here's a lovely, long, evolving pad sound. And so this has some effects on it here. If we click on the effects tab, we've got a bit crusher on. As well as delay. And these effects can be turned on and off. You can modulate these using the modulation matrix and hook them up to different things. We've got the SNES verb, even though this is not a Super Nintendo, we still have that. Convolution reverb, and 4 additional effects tracks, 1 per layer. And naturally, there's also some old school stuff thrown in here too. So I guarantee you will not hear an actual Game Boy doing that, but that is the power of Super Audio Kart and Super Audio Boy, is that you have all these advanced sound design things that you can use if you want to. Nice crunchy static in that one. And of course, because we've got arpeggiators and sequencers on board, you can actually create drum loops just by holding a note. So this patch does just that. Anyway, if you're interested in checking out some of the features in more depth, I highly recommend my Super Audio Cart in-depth tutorial videos. Even though those have the sounds of the other 7 systems, the rest of the instrument is exactly the same. None of the features have been limited in any way. Anyway, you can check out Super Audio Boy and download it for free at impactsoundworks.com or the link in the video description. This does require the full version of Kontakt, and of course, tons of people have that. But if you only have the free version of Kontakt Player, Super Audio Boy will still work. It just runs in a 15-minute demo mode. So you can still save, you can still export, there's no noise, there's no other limitation, but you'll have to restart your project every 15 minutes. And that's actually a limitation from Native Instruments. That's not something that we have any control over. Otherwise, obviously, we would have fixed that. So I hope you enjoy this free instrument. We can't wait to hear what you make with it. Feel free to, post on our Facebook page or tweet at us, and we'll definitely retweet it, whether it is modern stuff using Game Boy sounds or using sound design stuff or just authentic chiptunes. We want to hear it all. This has been Andrew Versa, and I'll see you next time.